Good evening, everyone. All of us have come together tonight to celebrate our amazing city that has been shaped by community members like you. This year's State of the City event represents the culmination of the partnerships, grit, perseverance of not only Mayor Romero, Visit Tucson, and the Tucson Metro Chamber, but also of the unwavering commitment of the sponsors for today's event. Please join me in thanking these committed Chamber supporters. Without them, we simply could not continue to champion an environment where your business thrives and our community prospers.
Hello, everyone. As president of the University of Arizona, I'm incredibly grateful to be working with the City of Tucson, Pima County, and our broader community, especially during this challenging time. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected us all. Mayor Romero's Somos Uno campaign reminds us to help one another with compassion as one community. Let's continue working together to emerge stronger and more resilient. The Wildcat family is proud to work with all of you, and I look forward to the day we can once again meet in person. Until then, remember, bear down and mask up.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Kane, the CEO of United Healthcare for Arizona, and I want to thank the Tucson Chamber of Commerce for allowing a few minutes for me today to share the United Healthcare story with you. To use the word challenging to describe this past year would be a huge understatement. In some ways, there are no words that can explain how different life is today from just a year ago. But there are some things that remain constant. There's a pride in knowing that communities like Tucson continue to thrive during this ongoing pandemic. And while focusing on the health of residents, you also are continuing the very important work in the areas of economic development, job growth, and affordable housing. At United Healthcare, we call these the social determinants of health, and each has a direct link to health and wellness. That's why we're happy to be associated with some key innovations in the local market. United Healthcare was privileged to be a sponsor and participating partner in the development of the Chamber's Workforce Blueprint, which identified employment opportunities in Tucson both now and in the future. This year, we also helped to establish a $100 million state fund called Home Matters Arizona, and that was in partnership with several managed care organizations. The fund was designed to finance affordable housing developments, and one of the fund's first grant recipients is La Frontera Partners, which is building the Center of Hope Apartments in Tucson. We donated $50,000 to the Pima Council on Aging to expand its meal delivery program to homebound seniors. And then just 2 weeks ago, we partnered with the City of Tucson to distribute 1,000 turkeys to families who otherwise might have gone without on Thanksgiving Day. On a much bigger scale, United Healthcare has made vital investments to support our members and the healthcare industry throughout the course of this pandemic. Right now, we're part of the State Vaccine Planning Task Force, and we're working with the Department of Health Services, providers, community centers, hospitals, and pharmacies so that we can safely distribute the vaccine as soon as it's available. And then nationally, United Healthcare is doing much more. We've provided $2 billion in customer support through premium credits and cost-sharing waivers, in addition to $1 billion in expected rebates. We facilitated $2 billion in accelerated payments to hospitals and physician practices. We've offered the very vital access to telehealth visits at no cost to our members. We've removed the need for any prior authorizations related to COVID-19, and we've invested more than $100 million in assistance to the nation's hardest hit cities. We all know that life will eventually get back to normal, but what we've learned from this pandemic is that we need each other. We survive and thrive as communities, businesses, families, and friends in the presence of one another, and United Healthcare is honored to be a continued presence in Tucson. I want to thank you for your time today, and on behalf of the more than 7,000 members of United Healthcare who live and work in Arizona, I wish you all a happy and healthy holiday. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Judy Rich, President and CEO of TMC Healthcare. 2020 has tested our resiliency, forced us to do things differently, and taught us the value of our community partners in ways we could have never imagined. However, with Tucson being Tucson, we stepped up together to address a public health crisis that no one could have predicted. As we found our way through the first wave in the early days of COVID, healthcare workers were bolstered by the bright blue A on Sentinel Peak that shined in a symbolic way to show Tucson's support. I will never forget Mayor Romero standing strong in front of that A on that beautiful day in May. As we move into the second wave, the community came together again to wear masks and follow the CDC guidelines that were instituted to take and keep each other safe. And now, as rising cases indicate a third wave, we have the hope of a vaccine on the horizon. And again, our community is coming together as one to figure out how to get Tucsonans vaccinated as quickly and safely as possible. We have all been impacted. So many of us have families that will never be whole again, have futures that are uncertain because of the economic impact. And in my hospital, have nurses, doctors, and essential workers who will never be the same again. Through it all, we have found strength in the outpouring and love and support from the community, our community. And it is the very essence of Tucson that will encircle those who have lost so much so that they can see the bright light of a future. Thank you, Mayor Romero, and thank you, Tucson.
Good evening. My name is Felipe Garcia. I'm the Executive Vice President of Visit Tucson, and I'm really proud to be here today at Azteca America Tucson, working with them and the Tucson Metro Chamber of Commerce to bring you the first State of the City of Mayor Regina Romero. So for us that we live here in Tucson, many times we see publications like Condé Nast Travel Magazine that this year selected Tucson as one of the top 10 cities to visit in the United States. And we feel proud about it, of course, and we get it because we live in this amazing community and we love our weather, our mountains, and of course we love our gastronomy. But what I think that makes Tucson so unique and different, it's people. People like you watching at home or your office right now, that you're committed to making sure that we have a strong community. And individuals like Mayor Regina Romero, that she has decided to be a public servant and helping us bring our community further. So Mayor Romero, she was raised in the town of Somerton, Arizona, a member of a family of migrants. She's the youngest of 6 siblings, and she became the first member of her family to vote, and the first one to graduate very proudly from the University of Arizona, and later on receive a certificate from Harvard University. She started working in public office in the year 2007 when she was elected the first female in Ward 1 here in our community. And you remember 2007, we were starting a recession here in this country, and she was able to work with her peers and bring 10 years of very strong growth in our community. It was not easy, it was really, really hard, but she still decided to run for office. And in 2019, Regina Romero became the first female mayor, the first Latina mayor here in our community. So please, join me in welcoming Mayor Regina Romero to her first State of the City.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this year's State of the City. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the magnitude and severity of the public health crisis we are living in, and remember those who have lost their lives to COVID-19. I would like to thank our healthcare and frontline workers who have sacrificed so much for the rest of us. I want to especially thank my colleagues on the City Council for their leadership and support during these difficult times. Thank you to everyone who has made this event possible. to the staff at the Tucson Metro Chamber for all their hard work, to Visit Tucson for supporting our vision and collaborating to make this event a success, and to tonight's sponsors. Thanks to the work of all involved, the State of the City is available for free to the public and is being broadcast in Spanish for the first time through TV Azteca. A year ago to the day, I was sworn into office as the mayor of our beautiful and diverse city. Since then, I have been hard at work to deliver on my promise to build a safe and sustainable city with economic opportunity for all. I ran on a bold platform to take our city to the next level of progress and prosperity. Tucson is at the heart of our region's ecosystem, and with the assistance of amazing partners, we will continue moving our dynamic city forward. Tucson, we are one. Somos uno. My colleagues on the council and I, with the support of the city manager's office and the entire city staff, hit the ground running to launch new initiatives and enhance high-quality core services that Tucsonans deserve. We kicked off 2020 with an innovative approach to the budgeting process. This started with a mayor and council retreat to establish the priorities of our constituents and align them with actionable strategies in our budget. With priorities set and goals in hand, we began to take action. Shortly after, our city, our state, and our nation was confronted with the worst health crisis our world has seen in recent history. Despite the challenges that COVID-19 has presented, we banded together as one city, one community, and made immeasurable sacrifices to protect the health of our loved ones and fellow Tucsonans. It is undeniable that COVID-19 has tested our limits, and we are still actively fighting this deadly virus. In Pima County, we have lost close to 700 lives to COVID-19. Each and every one of those lives is more than just a statistic. They were parents, grandparents, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, friends and neighbors. They were our fellow Tucsonans. The best way we can honor their memory is through maintaining our resolve by continuing to follow public health guidelines. Early on in the pandemic, and in the absence of clear direction from higher levels of government, we had to make some difficult decisions to protect public health. We were proactive with our mitigation efforts, often several steps ahead of our state and federal government. Mayor and council set aside millions of dollars to support testing efforts. Vice Mayor Cunningham helped to ensure testing is widely available, particularly in high-need areas. I also continued to stay in close contact with officials from surrounding towns and jurisdictions to ensure a coordinated regional response. All of us have sacrificed so much to protect the health of our most vulnerable Tucsonans, from our healthcare workers and first responders that are on the front lines, to our essential workers at grocery stores, post offices, and other places that have remained open, restaurants, small business owners and their workers, and each and every Tucsonan who is doing their part by wearing a mask, socially distancing, and following public health guidelines. Although it is difficult to see, the collective sacrifices of all of us have saved lives. I understand how exhausted and fatigued you are with this pandemic. I am too, but we need to stay the course. Brighter days are ahead. There is light at the end of the tunnel. In addition to the devastating health effects of COVID-19, the pandemic has taken a huge toll on our economy. Every industry has been affected by this virus. Large and small businesses, nonprofits and entertainment venues, our arts and culture organizations. There is not a single sector of our economy that has not been negatively impacted. businesses had to quickly shift their models to facilitate a work-from-home environment and make hard choices on how to provide virtual services. While the economic impact of the pandemic was felt by many, no other group of people felt it more than our essential workers. The pandemic also magnified the challenges that communities of color have faced for years, including lack of access to healthcare and quality education. Thanks to quick action of congressional delegation, Tucson received $96 million of relief funds through the CARES Act. Mayor and Council allocated $55 million directly into the hands of our community, ensuring that those with the greatest need received timely help. Through the We Are One Somos Uno Resiliency Fund, millions of dollars have been put in the hands of those in need. Grant programs administered by community partners have helped keep our economy going. Since the start of the pandemic, $7 million have been administered by the YWCA of Southern Arizona to provide a lifeline to small businesses for rent, utilities, and other needs. With a focus on minority, women, disabled, and veteran-owned businesses. These grants are helping small business owners keep their doors open, such as Carlos Figueroa, who owns Maíz Tucson. Figueroa was one of more than 560 small business owners who applied for this grant, with 66% of the grants going to women-owned businesses. The economic impact of the pandemic also reached the very organizations that help those most in need, our nonprofits. More than 20,000 nonprofits call Tucson home and provide vital resources to our community. Acknowledging the huge need in the nonprofit space, Mayor and Council partnered with the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona to offer more than $1 million in grants. Thanks to these grants, homeless youth can continue to receive meals and rent assistance through Youth on Their Own. Seniors can stay healthy by ordering groceries through Pima Council on Aging. And parents can have access to safe, reliable childcare through the scholarships offered by Catholic Community Services. We also partnered with the Women's Foundation to offer $5 million in cash assistance that went directly into the pockets of approximately 5,000 families and individuals. Thanks to these grants, Tucsonans were able to pay for groceries and basic needs. The city also allocated more than $1 million to the Southern Arizona Arts Foundation to help local artists, entertainment venues, and arts organizations. In addition to contributing to our economy, Tucson's arts and culture are what make us different and unique. I will continue to advocate for federal relief through the Save Our Stages Act. With no access to federal or unemployment benefits, our immigrant community continues to face additional challenges. No one should have to live in the shadows and in fear, especially during a pandemic. I am thankful to Open Society Foundations and a generous anonymous donor for donating $1.25 million to the Somos Uno Immigrant Relief Fund. In partnership with Councilmember Santa Cruz and the Sunnyside Foundation, immigrant families received much-needed financial help to cover expenses. Through proclamation, I acted immediately to establish moratorium on water shutoffs and evictions at city-owned housing. To further support the community, Mayor and Council authorized public transportation to remain free through the end of this year. Our recovery is complex and multifaceted, and we need to continue to work collaboratively with federal, state, and local governments to provide relief to Tucsonans. This will require Congress to pass an additional relief package as soon as possible. While we work hard to make this happen, we will continue to address the needs of our community, making every single dollar count and taking advantage of strong community partnerships to maximize our resources. Tucson is resilient, and we will come out of this stronger. Despite the pandemic, we have been able to continue providing core services our residents depend on, while implementing new processes, launching initiatives, and building partnerships to position ourselves as a nimble and flexible city that adjusts and responds to the need of our community. Mayor and Council and the entire city team are resolute in our dedication to provide exceptional customer services to our community and fulfill our promises to the voters. Proposition 101 continues to deliver. To date, we have paved 670 miles of road in our main city corridors and more than 225 miles in our neighborhoods and local streets. In the last year alone, we also kicked off exciting projects, such as breaking ground on the long-awaited Broadway Corridor project and the Sunshine Mile overlay with Councilmember Kozachik. Our re-envisioned Department of Transportation and Mobility has been diligently working on Move Tucson, our city's master plan and blueprint for increasing mobility across our city, whether you walk, bike, drive, or take public transit. Mayor and Council have had continued discussions surrounding the Regional Transportation Authority to ensure that Tucsonans have a fair say on regional transportation planning that incorporates community feedback from Move Tucson. During my first trip to Washington, D.C. as mayor, I met with officials from the Federal Transportation Administration and successfully lobbied for a transit grant that will explore bus rapid transit options. This has the potential to connect the Tucson International Airport through Oracle Road to the Tohono Tadai Transit Center. And speaking of mobility, we have already made progress under Proposition 407 on new greenways and shared use paths for pedestrian safety, walkability, and bicycle safety. Thanks to the ongoing support of Tucson voters, we continue to uphold our reputation as one of the most bike-friendly cities in the U.S. In addition, we have made notable progress in our parks under Proposition 407. To date, 5 pool renovations have been completed, with 6 more in progress. 9 sport field lighting projects are underway, with 1 recently completed at Chuck Ford Lakeside Park. 25 new playground shade structures and 6 new playgrounds are complete or currently in progress, including the first sensory park west of the Mississippi for children with autism and special needs. My thanks to Intermountain Centers for their collaboration on this project. In addition, as part of our CARES Fund, we are investing in 6 new mobile recreation centers as an innovative solution to creating opportunities for children to safely enjoy the outdoors during this pandemic. Mayor and Council continue to work to ensure that our parks provide a safe, clean environment for our children and their families to recreate. Planning for the future requires us to adapt to the unique challenges climate change poses to our city. This summer, we saw this front and center with wildfires in our mountains and 100 days of 100-degree-plus heat. This not only represents an existential threat to our globe, but locally, climate change has serious real-world consequences right here in Tucson. For our economy, rising temperatures exacerbate drought, jeopardizing our region's water security. Climate change has the potential to prolong our summers, threatening to extend into our city's high season for tourism. Rising temperatures also have serious health consequences, disproportionately affecting our most vulnerable populations, including children and the elderly. A challenge this great will require collaboration across all sectors of our society: government, business, labor, tribal nations, and the communities who are impacted most. That is why this year, Mayor and Council have taken bold steps to combat and adapt to the threat that climate change poses to our city. In September, Councilmember Durham and I brought forth Tucson's Climate Emergency Declaration, which sets a goal for city operations to reach carbon neutrality by 2030. Unanimously passed by Council, this key document outlines policy priorities for city departments as we work to reach these ambitious goals. To further support our climate resiliency efforts, Mayor and Council allocated funds for the creation of a climate action and adaptation plan. During my campaign for mayor, I outlined a vision to plant 1 million trees by 2030. Earlier this spring, we formally launched the Tucson Million Trees Initiative in collaboration with Trees for Tucson, and just recently hired an urban forestry program manager to support the implementation of this effort. This initiative will play a critical role in cooling our city by providing shade to heat-stressed areas, which are disproportionately in low-income neighborhoods. We are also moving to the city's electrification of our transit fleet. With the addition of 5 new electric Suntram buses, my thanks to Tucson Electric Power for the collaboration and their partnership. In the arid Southwest, water is life. Our economy cannot continue to grow without a sustained supply of water. Thanks to the efforts of Tucson Water, the leadership of Mayor and Council, and an ethic of conservation, we have strong water security that will allow us to continue to grow sustainably into the future. Not only does Tucson hold a 100-year water supply designation from the state of Arizona, we have stored almost 50 years of water in our local aquifers that we can rely on in times of need. We are also making investments to expand and renew our water infrastructure to assure continued reliable water service to the community. Additionally, we have continued innovative habitat restoration and conservation projects, such as the Santa Cruz River Heritage Project, where most recently I had the opportunity to reintroduce the endangered Gila top minnow to the Santa Cruz River, which has not swam here since the river dried up more than 70 years ago. My office also worked on a first-of-its-kind partnership with the University of Arizona and Arizona State University to hire a climate and sustainability advisor in the mayor's office that will help bridge research to create policy. In sum, we are making great strides to take action on climate and ensure livability of our city for future generations. One of city government's most important obligations to Tucsonans is providing public safety. Our police department continues to successfully implement strategies to reduce crime and help our community be safe. Through Proposition 101, we also have been able to support both police and fire with equipment and facility needs. Critical renovations are scheduled to begin on 6 fire stations in early 2021. We have also purchased new specialty gear for firefighters and paramedics and made critical improvements to the Tucson fire fleet. In addition, we have replaced almost 200 police vehicles and acquired more than 1,000 laptops, 300 body cams, and over 700 ballistic vests. All of these investments both improve the safety of our firefighters and police officers, as well as enhance service to our residents. This year, our city and our nation have been confronted with difficult but necessary conversations about policing, equity, and justice. However, I believe what sets Tucson apart is that we have approached these conversations honestly, with a willingness to talk openly about issues of systemic racism and cultural bias. While we still have much work to do, we have made positive strides to improve trust and reimagine the role of our police department in providing public safety. Our men and women in law enforcement have one of the most difficult jobs, and we often ask them to perform functions that are outside of the scope of their regular duties. That's why I have proposed, and Council has agreed, to create a new community safety pilot program to look holistically at how we provide safety to our community. By working interdepartmentally and with outside agencies that specialize in mental health, substance abuse, and other specialty areas, we can better address the issues that are frequently the underlying causes of 911 calls. To support this vision, Mayor and Council allocated funding for 6 additional social workers. By coming together and thinking differently about how we provide safety to our community, public safety, elected officials, community activists, and anyone who wants to be part of the solution, we can identify new ways to better meet the needs of Tucsonans. Mayor and Council have also taken concrete steps to keep Tucson affordable and help those experiencing homelessness find permanent housing. Earlier this year, Mayor and Council approved a proposal brought forward by Councilmember Fimbres and I to hire a Housing First Director. This position will coordinate a citywide effort to move Tucsonans experiencing homelessness into low-barrier shelters and comprehensively solve homelessness in our community. In the last year alone, our Department of Housing and Community Development has housed a total of 925 residents, 385 of which were experiencing homelessness. Using CARES funds, we moved over 200 individuals into permanent supportive housing. Outreach staff at Housing and Community Development, as well as our homeless outreach and substance use resource teams at the police department, continue to be proactive in reaching out to those experiencing homelessness and directing them to medical, housing, and other wraparound services. One of my goals as mayor is to have a focused approach to reducing poverty. That is why the Thrive in the O5 project is so important. It is a collaboration of innovations in community-based crime reduction, working to reduce poverty in the 85705 zip code and create workforce and economic development goals. We must cultivate these unique initiatives to advance federal funding opportunities. Tucson is not immune to the rising costs of living that cities throughout the country are facing. But I believe that with the right policies in place and continued community discussion, we can responsibly grow as a city while keeping Tucson affordable. That is why Mayor and Council created the Commission on Equitable Housing and Development. Over the coming months, I look forward to speaking with stakeholders from across the spectrum: developers, neighbors, small businesses, and affordable housing advocates to identify solutions to preserve and expand affordable housing options. We've accomplished a lot in the last year, despite the challenges thrown our way, and we have much to look forward to. There is much to do as we continue to triage around the virus and work to rebuild a robust and strong economy. But first, we must acknowledge our resiliency. Tucson is able to withstand and recover quickly from difficult conditions because we have a community of problem solvers, innovators, and dedicated partners. We must continue to tackle the immediate health crisis brought on by the virus, but we must also plan for short, mid, and long-term goals and initiatives. We have momentum to make this happen. In May, Moody's Analytics ranked Tucson among the top 10 U.S. cities best positioned to recover from the coronavirus. In July, the Site Selectors Guild identified Tucson among the top mid-sized cities for new projects. We will further promote the region and recruit amazing state-of-the-art companies to Tucson. TuSimple, the world's largest and most advanced self-driving truck company, is already expanding here in Tucson. It is with great excitement that I announced today that Too Simple will be adding 40,000 square feet to its campus, along with creating more than 100 new jobs. We look forward to your continued growth. I am also proud of the recent city project that will expand wireless internet service to areas currently not served by providers. Mayor and Council allocated more than $5 million of CARES funds to address distance learning and the digital divide for children and their families. Councilwoman Lee led on garnering support to see this critical initiative come to fruition. This investment will transform the quality of life for Tucsonans and move us closer to becoming a smart city by laying the groundwork to further invest in infrastructure that will improve public safety, support our economy, and move Tucson to a more sustainable city. My vision is to be a city that at all levels supports and leverages small businesses, startups, accelerators, and incubators to make Tucson a leader in creating green jobs, tech jobs, and the jobs of the future. The University of Arizona and their Research, Innovation, and Impact team are moving Southern Arizona towards this vision by positioning our region to attract technology-based companies. The refinery building at the U of A Tech Park at the Bridges will be the commercialization hub for the University of Arizona. Also, in September, Sandvik Materials Technology, a developer and manufacturer of advanced stainless steels and special alloys, announced plans to expand operations of precision medical wire and wire-based components to Tucson. Sandvik, based in Stockholm, has only one other U.S. location in Palm Coast, Florida. The company praised Tucson for its superior technical workforce. These are just a couple of examples of amazing projects that are happening throughout Tucson. Having tools available, such as the renewal of the Central Business District, will further support our economic recovery. Since taking office, I have renewed our partnership with strategic regional partners such as Pima Community College, Sun Corridor, the Tucson Airport Authority, and Rio Nuevo. In addition, I am hoping to partner with Pima County on regional solutions to early childhood education. Building relationships is key to our success. Last month, Tucson International Airport broke ground on the largest construction project in the airport's history. The $300 million Airfield Safety Enhancement Project will include a new runway and aircraft taxiways. In May, to support the local economy, we quickly pivoted to launch a pilot program for businesses to temporarily extend outdoor dining areas and receive approval within 72 hours. This was in addition to waiving easement and parking fees. To go one step further, I will be asking my colleagues on the council to support an initiative to amend the parklet policy and permanently extend outdoor dining for businesses. Earlier this year, our Economic Initiatives Department launched a new website, Connect Tucson. At the direction of Mayor and Council, small business navigators were added to the team and have fielded almost 700 requests for assistance through October. In the first quarter of 2021, we will be updating the City of Tucson's comprehensive economic development strategy. This critical plan and vision qualifies Tucson for federal grants. I will work with my colleagues on the council to outline and establish Tucson's recovery and economic opportunity plan to stabilize and push our economy forward. Thanks to wise financial planning over the years by the city manager and his financial team at the direction of Mayor and Council, the city is positioned to not just weather the storm, but return even stronger. For the first time, we are in a position to set 10% of our general fund in our rainy day fund. Our city's credit ratings improved this year once again, and we are in great standing to borrow for future needs at low interest rates, benefiting taxpayers. Finally, Mayor and Council made a once-in-a-generation decision to take advantage of historically low interest rates and sell pension obligation bonds to secure our public safety pension system. This move has the potential to save Tucsonans more than $600 million taxpayer dollars for decades to come, and ensure the retirement security of our police officers and firefighters. Exciting new projects, strong community partnerships, and a strong financial position have set Tucson for a great future. Tucson, we have so much to look forward to in the coming years. Yes, 2020 has tested our limits, but we have proven our resilience and positioned ourselves to come back stronger than ever. In me, you have a fighter, and I will continue to be Tucson's chief advocate to attract new investment and opportunities. With the new presidential administration, I will use the relationships I build with our congressional delegation to ensure that the needs of Tucson are front and center to the Biden administration. Through federal partnerships, we will continue to lay the groundwork for further infrastructure investments that will increase mobility across our city and fix our roads. The vision I have outlined for our city will take work, and it will take all of us to accomplish. The reason why I am so optimistic for the future, what our future holds, is Tucson's spirit of coming together to solve problems. At the end of the day, no matter what difference of opinion we may have, we all have one common goal: to create a safe and sustainable city with economic opportunity for all. I am proud to report that the state of the city is resilient and prepared to return stronger than ever. Thank you, Tucson. I am humbled to serve as your mayor. Wishing you and your family happy holiday season. Stay safe, get tested, and please wear a mask. We are one. Somos uno. Good night.
So our community has been facing a lot of issues. This is an opportunity to bring many, many different people and voices together in a safe way by painting this mural all around the We Are One, Somos Uno theme that it's a part of Mayor Romero's feeling of hope and prosperity and everything that is about Tucson coming together to heal. We've got volunteers who have got different people from the community and painting messages of hope and things that we can decorate our downtown headquarters to really let the community know that it's all about listening, even if it's a difficult conversation, that we want to be authentic and we want to be there for our community.
People need to understand that Arizona State University is embedded in Tucson. They are here with their students, they're here with their leadership, and they are part of many organizations to try to make our region better.
What a lot of people don't know is that the ASU School of Social Work has been embedded in the Tucson community for over 40 years. This vibrant program is wholly invested in creating the next change makers that can make this community thrive.
We have several different national social service agencies that are actually based here in Tucson due to having this part, the School of Social Work from ASU, contribute to our workforce. But more importantly, we have a higher quality of care for social service in the entire continuum, everything from families in crisis to elderly and geriatric care. And I think that continuum that exists in Tucson has improved the quality of life for our community. And we owe that to the School of Social Work.
Having ASU and Dr. Crow as a member of the Southern Arizona Leadership Council has opened a lot of doors for us. It creates opportunities to work on areas of interest, both from the university's perspective, but also on areas where they know that they can contribute to the community. They have a presence here, they have leaders here, and most importantly, they are involved here, and that makes a difference.
So the Thriving the O5 initiative was started about 3 years ago. It's a cluster of adjoining neighborhoods near the urban core of Tucson that are historically and culturally rich, but have been suffering from really decades of disinvestment. One of our initiatives in response to the pandemic, we call the Helping Hands Care Packages. We've done several distributions to the Tucson House. We have plans to do other distributions of the Helping Hand care bags across the community, and we know that it's really making an impact.
Public Allies is a national movement committed to advancing social justice by developing the leadership of young people. Tucson Allies are working in economic opportunity, environmental stewardship, health, and education.
I was 3 months in and I realized kind of like what it meant. And I think it's about serving your community. And it's about serving your community in a good way and bringing a different perspective, because Public Allies, its theme, it's kind of like everyone can lead. So bringing that perspective in and trying to serve your community with that perspective, I think that's what it means.
Not only does ASU help on the social services continuum, but they're also helping us in efforts for sustainability, climate change. It's not just limited to social services. And I think that's what makes it such a great partner.
Tucson has had a remarkable turnaround in its economy in the last 5 years. There's one thing that is separating us from other markets, and that is our ability to produce engineering talent.
ASU is involved in our Talent Attraction and Retention Task Force. That task force partners and aligns our private sector businesses like Raytheon and the other 400 aerospace and defense companies in Southern Arizona to the engineering talent it so desperately needs.
There's absolutely no doubt that universities are talent factories, and leading that charge is Arizona State University. They are a great entity in driving talent, producing talent for tomorrow's economy.
Our 1,500 businesses have access to another world-renowned university. Being able to connect into the Phoenix market, connect with the innovation that is happening statewide, allows those businesses to be that much more successful, productive, and profitable.
The one thing I want people to know about ASU is, especially people that have been in Arizona a long time, it's not the school you thought of in the 1970s or 1980s. This is a university that is cutting edge, that's helping drive the world for tomorrow. They're innovative, willing to create partnerships with any industry.
ASU is a partner in the community. We work with nonprofits, we work with corporations, we work with local municipalities.
I think ASU is doing a great job engaging with the Tucson community. I really see the nonprofit sector growing so much in Tucson because of Public Allies and because of the work that all the allies are going to be doing. Great things are coming to Tucson.
I think the work that we do is such an expression of the mission of ASU in action, which just, it makes me so excited to go to work every day. All the programming, the mission of our university, it all exists to really improve lives.
It's the collaboration that is going to take us further. We need as many voices, as many diverse thoughts and ideas to really truly improve not only our quality of life, but our opportunities. And it's the opportunities that will take us into the future.
Hey, Michael Crow here. It's really great to have a chance to zoom into the Tucson State of the City speech. We're the U of A's baby sister up here in Phoenix, but we're all in on the Sun Corridor, all in on Tucson, all in on everything that we can do to make Arizona a better place. And we are ready to work with you, ready to move things forward, and appreciate all the things we've got going right now very much. Thanks a lot.
Hi, Patty Hinich here. I want to send a message to Regina Romero. I want to congratulate you for being not only the first woman, but the first Latino to be the mayor of the city of Tucson. That just fills us with so much pride. I've had so much joy and have had such wonderful experiences in Tucson and working with the team at Visit Tucson and the people from Tucson, getting to know the city, and now I get to share some of what I've tasted, which is just absolutely extraordinary, on my new season of Patty's Mexican Table. Please watch on pbs.org and Amazon Prime, and I hope to be there with you all soon.
Good evening. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce and all of you for giving me an opportunity to bring this message to you, and also for your interest in what's happening around our community. At Cox, we're very proud of our partnerships in Tucson with the Chamber of Commerce, with the business community, and with many, many community organizations that are working extremely hard to move Tucson forward. We know that partnerships are required to solve complex problems in this community, and it's critically important that we all get around a table together to talk about ways for us to do what's necessary, not only to get through this difficult period, but how we can continue to make Tucson and Southern Arizona thrive beyond the pandemic. During COVID, our employees have been working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop, to make sure that our network meets your needs, that you're connected so that you can work from home and you can school from home, that you can teach from home, that you can talk to your family that are in different places around the country at Thanksgiving in a Zoom call. So we understand what an important product and what important service we're providing, and we take it very seriously, and we're doing everything we can to make sure our network is ready today and will be prepared for what's needed tomorrow. I'd also like to tell you that we've got an exciting announcement on December the 11th that will impact how your kids learn from home. I think it's going to be an exciting announcement, and you can look forward to that just in a week or so. So we'll continue to find ways to improve upon what we're already doing to make Tucson stronger. So with that, again, I just want to say thank you so very much for what each and every one of you are doing to make sure that Tucson will remain a resilient, beautiful, and caring community like it's always been. I wish you all a very happy holiday season and good health. Thank you.
With more than 120 years dedicated to serving Tucson businesses, the Tucson Metro Chamber remains steadfast in serving those who are the foundation of our economy. Our own resiliency matches that of our members who are navigating these exceptional times. From speaking to our members, we have learned that the COVID-19 challenges are different for everyone, from both a personal and professional level. That is why companies belong to the Chamber. We are connectors who pair people and resources to each other, depending on their specific needs. We've brought companies together to form partnerships, buyers to customers, and of course, we continue to provide access to and expertise from consultants ranging from accountants and bankers to Zoom extraordinaires. As your business advocate, our leadership also extends to focusing on issues impacting your business. Our workforce development blueprint will guide our region forward, focusing on areas most impactful. And our task forces, such as the Tucson Restaurant Council, are more tactical in addressing industry-specific issues. Whether it is addressing your talent pipeline concerns or bureaucratic policy is creating a roadblock for your business, we are your champion. From all of us at the Tucson Metro Chamber, our business is your business, and we are well positioned to serve you for the next 123 years.